All right, everybody, welcome to the post-game press conference for the Arkansas Razorbacks. Please silence your cell phones now and remember, no video recording. I'd like to introduce Arkansas head coach Mike Neighbors and the two players representing the Razorbacks, Chelsea Dungee and Malica Monk. A little reminder of the format: we will hear an opening statement from Coach Neighbors, then we will address questions to the student athletes. Once the student athletes are dismissed, let's have questions for Coach Neighbors. And to ask a question, please raise your hand. A microphone will be brought to you. If you could state your name and media affiliation, that would be great. And with that, Coach Neighbors, please begin for us.
Thank you, Kara. Really proud of and for our group. We've played really good basketball the last month of this season, and we couldn't get a win for whatever reason. But these kids kept showing up every single day at practice. I'm not going to tell you it was rainbows, unicorns, and roses every single day, because it's not. So we live in reality world, but they stuck together. And for the second year in a row, we've played our best basketball game of the season in the first game of the SEC tournament. And I just think that speaks volumes for your leaders, which two of them are up here with me right now. And we're really excited to be able to advance and play again tomorrow.
Questions now for the student athletes, please.
Hey, Ryan Dennis with the Athens Banner Herald. Chelsea, you shot the ball so well, the team shot the ball so well. What's that feeling like when it just seems like everything's dropping, throughout the night?
Feels good coming off a couple games, a losing streak. It feels good to see the ball go in the basket. Yeah.
Braden with the Macon Telegraph, but a question for Chelsea. I mean, coming into this game, did you have any extra anger about you with the stuff that happened last week? Did you kind of come in here with that extra anger or extra oomph?
Yeah, I had a little bit of a chip on my shoulder. I just wanted to go out and play the best that I could and show everyone what I can do.
I tried to turn the chip into a boulder.
I have a question.
I'll elaborate on that
once it's his turn to talk. I have a question for Malica. As one of the leaders of this team, everything Coach mentioned, the adversity, kind of like that, we can't get a break. How did you and the leaders keep everybody focused and keep believing?
We just really have to come together, and with everybody, we like to compete with one another, and we know that we are above and beyond. We should be up at top with the other teams, so we just come out every day just tackling every task that we can, and we really proving to everybody that we're still capable of winning games no matter what is being thrown at us.
Are there any other questions for our student athletes? Ladies, thank you. We will let you go join your Razorbacks teammates. And we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you, Mel. And now let's open the floor to coaches, questions for Coach Neighbors.
Can you elaborate on that boulder? I mean, was it in practice? Did you just say, hey, you were second team, not first? Or,
I was in the lobby last night. I get it. Hey, and I'm going to say exactly what I said at my press conference back at home. I ultimately respect how hard it is to make the first team in this league. There's only 8 spots for 14 teams, of which there's a lot of great players. I get it. It's really hard to make the first team. But if you look at our team from last year and what we added, a lot of it was Chelsea. Okay, and Mal played great. Mal's maybe his most improved kid I've ever coached between summers. Jalen Mason, all the kids got better. But we really graduated Dev, and we brought Chelsea in. And we went from losing 104-60 to Texas A&M to taking that into the fourth quarter. South Carolina beat us 90-42 a year ago. This year it was a one-possession game at our place. And if you take her off of our team, we're playing yesterday, and we're probably going home. So I know how hard it is. I know there are a lot of deserving people. I don't know who I would have taken off. I honestly don't. But she had a great season. She had a first-team all-conference season, and I think she backed it up with a first-team all-conference first round. So she's just that type of kid that you just kind of have to tell her, maybe you can't do this. and she can. So I built it up. I'm not going to tell you I didn't. I used it to our advantage. I don't wish it. I'm not glad that it happened. I wish she would have been recognized. And here's the reason. Here's another reason. Because to be recognized as an honoree here at the SEC, like we've been honoring the kids at that reception tonight, you have to be first team all conference. And we don't have very many. I think we're out. Where's Jerry? Jerry, are we out? We're not going to have another women's basketball player honored for a while because we don't have anybody that's been first team, and she could have been. So I know there's a lot of work to do between now and then, but I know how hard that kid's worked. She sacrificed an awful lot to come play for us. So whatever it took, I was going to take every full advantage. I would have never dreamt she would have gone 10 for 16, 10 for 12, and played great defense for 36 minutes. That's a heck of a performance and a heck of a game. That was a really long answer to a short question. I apologize.
From Georgia's perspective, I mean, what type of difficulties went into beating them? Let me start over. In terms of playing Georgia for a third time,
yes.
How are you guys able to get over that hump and pull it off? And
There's a reason that cliche is out there about it's hard to beat a team 3 times in a year. They didn't just make that up. It is hard to do that. I know that Joni and her staff did everything they could do to try to show them that just because you got 2 wins, it's not going to matter today. I know they did, but it's still hard. I've been in that situation before. It's so hard. Our job was a lot easier. It was simply do one thing better each quarter. And we were mic'd up, and that's all we talked about in our pregame. It's all we talked about in every timeout. Do one more thing that we haven't been doing in these other games, and that's going to be the difference in the win and the loss.
And then also, I mean, I guess I'll start over with a question about from Georgia's perspective. I mean, as you've seen that program over the last couple of years, what do you see and where it's headed, even though this year was a down year from last?
Well, the expectations for Georgia, I said this when we played down there. There's not many arenas where you walk in where there's more women's jerseys retired than men's. There is. They have that. Their tradition is so rich. So the bar is set so high. They have a really good team. It's a tough year in this league where there's a lot of people in the middle that beat each other up. I think it's probably going to be the first time in SEC history a 9-win team didn't go to the NCAA tournament. Is that what they're telling us? And I mean, I'm not in charge of that, but that's what all the experts are saying is that Georgia's not going to get in with 9 SEC wins, and I think that'll be the first in history for a 9-win team. They are headed to nothing, but I know who they've recruited. I'm going to send Kalaya Robinson a graduation card and make sure her alarm is set and shows up on time to walk and gets out of there. She is phenomenal. But I know who they have coming, and I know it's a team that for years to come is always going to be one you're going to have to go through to try to advance in this league and try to catch them. See you guys tomorrow.
Thank you, Coach
Thank you,
Neighbors.
Kara.